Well, hello and welcome to the NOEVIR Stadium in Kobe, the home of the Japanese champions from the last 2 seasons as they prepare to take on Gamba Osaka in a repeat of last season's Emperor's Cup final, a match which Vissel Kobe won narrowly by a goal to nil to complete the domestic double for the first time in the club's history. It is a golden period for Vissel Kobe, a side who had never been champions prior to 2023. But then, having claimed their maiden Japanese league title, they went on to retain the trophy last season. The Champions League campaign came to an end in the last 16, beaten by Korea's Gwangju, but they will be in next season's competition. The main target now, though, for the champions is to get themselves back into the title race. Currently down in 10th spot, 13 points adrift of the J1 leaders, Kashima Antlers, but they do have a couple of games in hand. It may be their golden period, but it's 10 years since Gamba Osaka, who have twice been Japan's finest team as well, have won a major trophy, the Emperor's Cup of 2015. And it was Vissel Kobe who denied them some silverware for the first time in a decade in that Emperor's Cup final. Well, Gamba arrived, though, on a run of 3 successive wins until last week's defeat at the hands of Sanfrecce Hiroshima put a little dent in the road, but they are the side in form out of these two, that defeat aside. Gamba 6th in the table, but only a couple of points above their hosts from today, who need to return to winning ways off the back of successive defeats to Cerezo and FC Tokyo. And Azeo Ino being awarded for his 100 J1 appearances in the top flight. He's on the bench today for Vissel Kobe, former Sagan Tosu player, who's featured just 7 times this season. That 7th appearance taking him through a century of J1 games. Well, it's successive games here against teams from Osaka. Gamba's city rival Cerezo winning 3-1 here, which ended a run of 3 successive home wins for Vissel Kobe, beating Kawasaki Frontale, Machida Zelvia and newly promoted Fagiano Akayama. They have won 3, drawn 2 and lost 3 of their last 8 here in J1. It's a far cry from the consistent form that has seen them lift the title for the last 2 seasons. They've lost 5 of their opening 14 games, the champions, having only lost 8 in the entirety of the 2024 season. Well, it was a 2-2 draw when these two met here in August last season. Gamba came out on top 2-1 in their home league game. 2 teams then. Daya Maikawa is one of 3 Vissel players to have played in every game so far. Brazilian Mateus Tula returns at centre-back in the back 4, while the midfield remains unchanged from FC Tokyo, with Takahiro Ogihara as the anchor in midfield. Up front, Daiju Sasaki starts for the 5th game in a row on the left, with Yuya Osako returning at centre-forward. He's 10 games without a win. It was Taizé Miyashiro there wearing 9 who scored the winner in the Emperor's Cup final between these two. Ryo Tanimoto is the man in charge today, the 37-year-old taking charge of his 9th J1 match this season. Futoshi Nakamura is the lead VAR official. Dani Poyatos goes with a settled side despite the loss against Sanfrecce last week. The only enforced change comes in midfield, with the Israeli international Neta Lavi replacing the suspended Tokuma Suzuki following his red card last weekend. Ryoya Yamashita has added goals to his creativity this season, while Uzumi and Humit have a couple of goals each. Brazilian João Alano is still waiting to find the net this season in Gamba's forward line. Takayuki Yoshida, the man who has led Vissel Kobe to 3 major trophies since taking over in June of 2022. Dani Poyatos in charge of Gamba Osaka a year later, took over in February of 2023, formerly at Tokushima Vortis in J2. So is this where Vissel Kobe's charge to the title starts? Certainly got some work to do. A couple of games in hand. If they win them, would certainly move them closer to Kashima Antlers. A victory here would take them above Gamba Osaka in the table, onto 24 points and into the top 6, depending what happens elsewhere this weekend. But there is no more margin for error for Vissel Kobe, given the way that Toru Iniki is setting the pace with Kashima Antlers. So Vissel Kobe get us underway here at the NOEVIR Stadium against Gamba Osaka. The champions against the side who finished 4th in the table last season. And a repeat of last season's Emperor's Cup final. That was Vissel Kobe's only win against Gamba Osaka in the J1 last season. Taking 4 points off the eventual J1 title winners. Here's João Alano. Nakatani trying to search for Yamashita out wide. Looks as though Yamashita is starting on the left side and João Alano on the right at the start of play. Yamashita often operating on the right-hand side. Suffered relegation with Yokohama FC a couple of seasons ago, a side who have returned to the top flight. As a result, Yamashita picked up by Gamba, managed just 1 goal last season, but has 4 already in this campaign. Honda launches it forwards towards Osako. Rikuhanda under this and sees it back to Ichimori. Been improvement under Dani Poyatos. Came as close as anybody in recent times to ending Gamba's trophy drought. Club, remember, who have twice been champions of Japan, but also champions of Asia when they won the AFC Champions League in 2008. Ichimori. So with that, Sakai with the header back to Maikawa. Tula. Sakai charging forwards. Just to get the cross in, well held by Ichimori. João Alano. Looking for the run of Dennis Humit. Throw for Gamba. Mitsuta. Clipped out by Fukuoka towards Kurokawa. It's picked up by Yamashita. Mitsuta. Daiju Sasaki, who was in and out of the team last season. Highly talented player, big favourite with the supporters. Much more of a regular starter, though, in this campaign. Yamashita taking on Sakai. Good run by Yamashita. Uzumi was waiting to pounce. The ball didn't arrive, though, and then the header away by Honda. Here's Sasaki. Versatile player, can play in the forward line or in an attacking midfield role. Here's Mitsuta. To the experienced Uzumi. Yamashita with the cross in, Honda with the header away again. Here's Kurokawa. Mitsuta. Trying to twist and turn away, but picked up by Eric now, who launches it towards Osaka. Struggling for goals at the moment, Osaka. It's a barren run that he's on. Games without a goal, that goal coming in the 2-0 win against Gwangju. A victory that seemed to set them up for a place in the quarter-finals of the AFC Champions League Elite, but a 3-0 loss in the second leg a week later in Korea ended those hopes. Kick then for Vissel Kobe. Gihara to deliver. Into a good area, but it's headed away by Lavi. Danger not over yet, though. Osaka with the cross in. A throw for Gamba. Actually only scored in one league game this season, Osaka. He scored both the goals in the 2-2 draw at Nagoya Grampus in just the second week of the season. Disappointing campaign for a player who scored 22 goals in the title success of 2023 and then 11 last season. Fukuoka's header away. Here's Eric. Now Gihara. Sasaki. Overhead that ball back to Miyashiro. It's Neta Lavi. Looking for the run of Hammett. Well covered by Mateus Tula. Hammett in his first season in Japan. Scored in successive games in the wins against Kyoto Sanga and Shonan Bellmare, but failed to score in his last two appearances. Here's Honda. Tula shifts it out to Yamakawa. Now Miyashiro. All four of Vissel Kobe's major successes have come since winning the Emperor's Cup in 2019. Yamakawa. Osako's header on to Gotoku Sakai. Here's Eric. Osaka. Stabbed away again by Lavi. Yamashita sending it forwards. Uzumi challenging for it. Now back with Sakai again. Cut out by Kurokawa. So Kobe keep coming though. Hideguchi. And now Mitsuta gets it away for Gamba. Headed away by Nakatani. So Kobe beginning to take control of the contest now. Here's Sasaki. Trying to go on the outside. Handa did well though. Now Netalavi brings it away. Juan Alano. Headed down by Yamakawa. On by Tula, but Fukuoka brings it away for Gamba. Here's Yamashita with a bit of space. One or two signs they were beginning to build a bit of a head of steam there, Vissel Kobe, but now Gamba have it. Reds in their last away game, Gamba, which ended a run of 5 games without a win on the roads. There's Yamashita now. Hideguchi and Sakai doubling up as the cross comes in towards Juan Alano. Now Sasaki. So Kobe completing the domestic double last season. That was bettered by Gamba 11 years ago when they completed the domestic treble in 2014. Lovely ball over the top towards Osaka, but the bounce getting the better of it. 2014 treble is something that will probably never be bettered, given the fact that it was Gamba's first season back in the top flight. They won promotion in 2013 and then came up and swept the board in their first season. Remarkable achievement. Here's Fukuoka. Kurokawa. Netalavi. Tula. It's hooked away by Fukuoka. Alano winning it back, found Mitsuta, but he's given it away to Yamakawa. Miyashiro. Miyashiro has actually won the Emperor's Cup in the last 2 seasons. Won it in 2023 with Kawasaki Frontale. Before grabbing the winner in last season's final for Vissel Kobe. Honda. Here's Tula. Again, attempting another measured through ball to Eric this time, but once more it's overhit. Shinosuke Nakatani. Here's Mitsuta. Looking for the space in behind Tula. his countryman Juan Alano, but the ball's been given away to Netalavi. Sasaki with the foot in, did enough just to dispossess the Israeli. Run over play by Miyashiro, and that's a throw to Gamba. Yuki Honda's throw. Tula making his way into the penalty area is very useful in the air. He was looking for the flick on. Osaka almost got a foot to it. Hamit brings it away. And here's Uzumi. And the yellow card coming out here. Yeah, it was late, wasn't it? From Mateus Tula. Quarter of an hour gone then, 0-0. Neither side has created a noteworthy opportunity so far. Here's Netalavi. Kurokawa. Fukuoka to Nakatani. Ogihara looking for options and waving teammates forward here. In the end, has to go back to Yamakawa. Juan Alano. That's not a bad ball either, and it's fired just past the post by Riku Handa, who'd made the run from right back. First opening for either side, really. From a Vissel Kobe point of view, it was all too easy. Juan Alano with time and space to pick his pass. Nobody went with Riku Handa, who made the run. And then just pulling the shot past the post. Here's Yamakawa. Juan Alano again. Could be a match winner on his day, but we really haven't seen enough of that from him in the last couple of seasons. Formerly with Kashimarantas, the team they're all chasing at the top of the table. Toru Iniki, who's gone there from Kawasaki Frontale after the magic he worked there, and is doing the same at Kashimarantas, who have been a bit of a sleeping giant in recent seasons. Fukuoka. Handa. Fukuoka switched out to Kurokawa. Now Uzumi. Yamashita. again from Mitsuta. Yamashita again. Sakai stepping across this time. That made a bright start to the game, Yamashita. In the opening 5 or 6 minutes with a couple of runs past Sakai. Almost 20 minutes gone. That Riku had a chance, the only attempt on goal from either team. Tula. Deguchi. Now Eric. There's the Brazilian again, trying to inject a bit of tempo into the attack. Fed in again by Eric. Osaka with the touch off towards Miyashiro. Being forced further wide though by Fukuoka. Now Sakai hits it. And well off target. Sakai, a player who had a long spell in Germany, at Stuttgart and then Hamburg. Turned to the J-League in 2019 with Vissel Kobe. Foul by Hammett, free kick for the champions. Not too much service in the opening moments, the Turkish centre forwards. They're getting the better there of Sasaki. Oh, good chance and over the top from Osaka. And that's just the way it's been going for him so far this season. Number 10 hasn't scored in 10. And a misjudged header from Nakatani suddenly. Gilt-edged chance for the Vissel Kobe centre forwards. Cushioned it on the knee, set it up for the volley and then got underneath it. Last team to win 3 successive J-League titles, by the way. Kashima Antlers, 2007 to 2009. Sanfrecce won 3 and 4 seasons with successive titles in 2012 and 2013. Kawasaki Frontale, 2017, 2018. And then again in 2020 and 2021. Here's Fukuoka. By Uzumi. Juan dispossessed by Mateus Tula. Gonna need a marked improvement in form though. Vissel Kobe, if they are to make it 3 successive J1 titles. Osaka. Now, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 153 154 155 156 157 158 1 takes the free kick, picks out Eric, who in turn finds Sasaki. His best delivery though, Mitsuta. Here's Yamashita, picking up the ball much deeper than he would usually like. Hamit. Gamba throw. Covers well. Yamashita prevents a throw in though. Hamit helps it back on to Yamashita. Uzumi in space. Yamashita instead trying to fire it across the box. Half-hearted suggestion to the referee that there may have been a handball. Referee not interested. Here's Sakai with a bit of space. Eric. Osaka gets in behind Fukuoka. Sakai fires it across towards Miyashiro, who was in there, but well defended by Shinosuke Nakatani. Inviting ball into the 6-yard box, but well defended. Opportunity here. They've got a fair degree of players who are decent in the air. Vissel Kobe, Osaka obviously, Yamakawa and Tula, when they come forward as well, can be a threat. There's a suggestion of a handball there, maybe, from Nakatani, as he cleared it away. Conversation taking place clearly with the VAR. So it is going to be just a corner. Osaka and Kuroko tugging away there. Taking a chance there, isn't he? Because he's clearly got a grip of Osaka's shirt. Nagihara drives the ball in. Miyashiro is on the outside, clips it across, wins the corner off-hander. And Vissel Kobe keeping Gamba penned in at the moment. Deguchi to deliver this one. It's a low delivery, it's flicked through into the danger zone though from Sasaki. Vicious ball in from Ideguchi. Osaka's header back across. And Gamba finally clear it away. Deguchi, another of the Vissel Kobe players who had a spell playing in Europe, albeit a short one. Loan spell with Greuther Fürth in Germany and was at Leeds United in 2018, but failed to make an appearance. Here's Uzumi. It's a cross in towards Hamet, header away by Tula. Yamashita comes short. There's a poor ball back to Kurokawa. Promising start to the game, but has drifted out of it a bit now. Ryoyo Yamashita. Kurokawa. Here's Uzumi. That's short for Yamashita though, and Sakai brings it away. Yamakawa into Sasaki. Cross into the box towards Osaka, lovely first touch. And just as well for Gamba that Nakatani was there to clear it away. Space now for Makoto Mitsuta. Hamet. There's Yamashita. Assessed his options before feeding it back into Lavi. Again by Lavi. Nakatani to Handa. Uzumi. Dancing around here, Gamba trying to pick a way through, but Vissel Kobe well organised. Here's Mitsuta. Now Kurokawa, Juan Alano across. Nice idea, tried to play it back to Kurokawa, but it was cut out, and it's with the left back now. Here's Uzumi. Deguchi's clearance is charged down by Juan Alano. Terrific player, Takashi Uzumi. Experienced Japanese international, played 3 games at Bayern Munich during a loan spell there. Played for Augsburg and Fortuna Düsseldorf in Germany. Fukuoka. Kurokawa. Half an hour gone of a surprisingly low-key affair, given the 2 sides involved. Handa with the best chance for Gamba Osaka when he pulled his effort wide. Yuya Osako with a chance to end his goal famine, but controlled it well, volleyed the ball over the top. That's about the crux of it so far. The chances at a premium. Tula. Miyashiro. Honda. It's a corner for the home side. Juan Alano was convinced that it was a goal kick. Deguchi to deliver then. Former Gamba player, played 127 times for Gamba, scored 14 goals. towards the penalty spot. Sasaki rose, but didn't make the contact. That's a goal kick. It treads on the foot, doesn't it, of Honda. Eric, the Brazilian there, showing the imaginary yellow card to the referee. I think it was more accidental than anything, though, from Nakati. He was just trying to close him down. Well, he won't want to lose his left back, that's for sure. Takayuki Yoshida. J-League winner as a player with Yokohama F. Marinos. Won the Emperor's Cup and the old Asian Cup Winners' Cup as well. That was with Yokohama Flugels. Club, of course, which merged with the Marinos to give us Yokohama F. Marinos. Chemery with the goal kick. Sasaki's header. Osaka challenging. Taken away by Netalabi. It's a good ball to Uzumi. Looked up to assess his options. There was only really hum it forward. And now the offside flag goes up against Takashi Uzumi. A difficult first half for the attacking players in both sides. Uzumi was part of the Japanese squad at the 2018 World Cup. Part of the Gamba team that won the domestic treble in 2014. Maikawa clears. Fukuoka's header away. Eric onto Miyashiro. Flick from Sakai, but cut out by Lavi. Here's Honda. Sasaki. Deguchi. Trying to play the 1-2 with Osaka. Now Sakai. Little back heel. Deguchi with the delivery, but he's overhit that. And that's pretty much been the story of the first half. Play one of their games in hand on Wednesday when they go to Yokohama F. Marinos, Vissel Kobe. Thought they were having a difficult start to the season about the team that contested the 2023 title race with them, F. Marinos. Bottom of the table. Just 8 points. How the mighty can fall. Sasaki. Foul by Mitsuta. By Honda, who seems to have recovered okay. Here's Eric. Ideguchi. Good first touch and short, but straight at Ichimori, who saved well. Shota Fukuoka has a problem. Really positive midfield play, though, from Ideguchi. Driving run. Took him through the middle of 4 defenders to either side of him. The angle was against him, though. Ichimori did well. Ideguchi, who actually joined straight from Celtic in Scotland, where he struggled for regular football, featured just 3 times. Here's Hamid, taking it upon himself to create a chance. Easy claim for Mike Awada. Ideguchi. Another corner for Vissel Kobe. Gihara to swing it in. Solid header away, though, from Handa. Would have been a free kick. The referee trying to play the advantage here is Handa. And he's picked out Hamid, has he? Well covered by Ideguchi, though. Showing he's pretty adept at both ends of the field. Poyatos just reminding the referee that there was a foul there, that he played the advantage. I mean, it's bad enough seeing players do that. You don't want to see the coaches doing it either. It would have been a yellow card had the referee given the free kick, but played the advantage. You would have expected him to retrospectively go back and perhaps book him. That was well covered by Ideguchi. Eric. Ideguchi. He's given it away, though. Hamid with the touch off. On by Mitsuta to Lavi. Here's Kurokawa. Uzumi chased away, but keeps the ball. Kurokawa blocked by Sakai. Well, trying to get it away and played it straight to Yamashita. Finally, after 2 or 3 aborted attempts to clear the ball, Yamakawa does clear. Mitsuta, not by Tula. And the referee does blow this time. Much to the frustration of Eric. He's showing another one. The referee needs to book Eric here. It's 2 or 3 times now he has shown the imaginary yellow card. And the referee should just say, there you go, there's a real one. Should have played the advantage, there's no doubt about that. 3 minutes to be added on at the end of a really tight first half. Vissel Kobe looking to return to winning ways after 2 straight losses. It's not difficult to see, though, where the struggles have been this season for the champions. Just 13 goals scored in their opening 14 games. Defensively, spot on. They've only conceded 12. Eric. Might fancy one from here. Played it into Osaka. It's a lovely ball, and then the flag goes up as Osaka turns it in. Will be checked, of course. But isn't that just typical when you're 10 games without a goal? Thought about the shot here, held on to it, pushed it a bit further forward. He is offside. It's a terrific call from the assistant on the far side. And he really can't buy a goal at the moment, Yuya Osaka. Ahead of Tula, throw for Gamba. Juan Alano. Sasaki comes up with it. And gives the ball away. Both teams have been guilty of that. Kurokawa fired that straight into Yamakawa, and now the counter could be on here. Eric and Osaka needs to hold his run, though. The centre forward, Eric may go alone. Still twisting and turning. Great chance, side netting for Miyashiro. Well, he seemed to be caught in 2 or 3 minds there, Eric, as to what to do. It was awkward for Osaka. Had to just check his run to avoid being offside. Came about through the block by the face of Yamakawa. Deflected favourably for Eric here. See Osaka just trying to hold his run, but Eric wouldn't deliver it. In the end, stabbed it through to Miyashiro, and it was a poor finish in the end. Times now, though, that Vissel Kobe have threatened to break through. That is the final action, though, of a really tight first half. Vissel Kobe's old problems this season continue. They struggle for goals, and in the opening 45 minutes here, they've struggled to create chances. Osaka fired one over, had one rightly ruled out for offside. Gamba Osaka have barely created anything. Riku Handa had the first chance of the game when he fired across the goal. But more woe for the 2-time defending champions. The half-time score, Vissel Kobe 0, Gamba Osaka 0. Welcome back to the NOEVIR Stadium in Kobe, where the champions are drawing 0-0 with Gamba Osaka, a team they failed to beat in the league last season. They put that right, of course, in the major domestic cup final by beating them in the Emperor's Cup. But they are struggling for goals this season, Vissel Kobe. It's been apparent again in the opening 45 minutes. Both teams, in truth, have been struggling to create chances. And he'll be desperate to end his 10-match run without a goal. MEIJI Osaka had the ball in the net, but he was offside. And a second-half change for Gamba Osaka. Neta Lavi is coming off. He's going to be replaced by Shu Kurata. So Kurata on. Part of their Champions League winning squad in 2008 and the domestic treble. Vastly experienced midfielder Shu Kurata. Neither side really wrestling control of the game in that first half. Vissel Kobe with a handful of chances to just the one for Gamba. Uzami's been kept relatively quiet. And Gamba Osaka get the second half underway then. 0-0 with Vissel Kobe. After defeats to Cerezo Osaka and FC Tokyo, looking to return to winning ways and get themselves back into the title mix. Sides who finished first and fourth last season. Osaka's little flick. Vissel Kobe re-qualifying for another shot at the AFC Champions League Elite. Miyashiro. And that's going to be a corner. And Gamba returning to AFC club competition in the shape of AFC Champions League 2, the second tier AFC club competition. Dagachi with the corner then for Vissel Kobe. Kurokawa again keeping a close eye on Osaka. Sakai. Easy claim for Ichimori. Sasaki to Miyashiro. Katani stepping in. Deguchi. Stabbed away by Handa. Yamashita. by Uzumi, and Tula hooks it away. Sasaki finding Miyashiro. He cuts inside. It's hit the first time by Deguchi, but just the wrong side of the post. Certainly looks on it today. Yosuke Deguchi. Decent game in that midfield area. A couple of chances have fallen his way as well. Kichimori was happy that it was going past the post. Well, he's done well to become a regular in the Vissel Kobe team as of last season. First signed for them from Celtic, he was loaned out to Avispa Fukuoka and ended up helping them win their first major trophy when they won the League Cup in 2023. His first league goal for Vissel Kobe coming a couple of weeks ago in the 2-0 win here against Fagiano Okayama. Were closed down. Sasaki looking for Osaka, the header away by Fukuoka. Bit of space now for Sasaki, maybe. Gives the cross in for Osaka to challenge for. Fukuoka sticking with him, and Yamashita hooks it away. Sakai. Twisting and turning, Osaka! Does have his goal! And after 10 barren games, the Vissel Kobe centre-forward scores his third goal of the season. And the champions lead inside 5 minutes of the restart. Well, Vissel Kobe needed that, and so did their centre-forwards. Sakai doing what he does so well as an attacking fullback. Wriggling away from 2 or 3 challenges. The little dummy from Eric. And then the clinical strike into the top corner from Yuya Osaka. And it's Vissel Kobe 1, Gamba Osaka 0. Clinical finish from Osaka. There was no time to really think about it. And the player who scored 33 league goals in the last 2 seasons now has his third only of this campaign and his first goal since the second day of the season. Juan Alano. Here's Yamashita. Oh, he hesitated. If he'd have hit it first time, maybe he could have called out Maikawa. The natural goal scorer has plenty of pace and trickery, and has added goals to his game this season. Tula. Throw for Gamba. Uzumi. Here's Yamashita. Yamakawa backing up. Cleared away by Honda. Up towards Miyashiro. Here's Eric. Switched across by Deguchi. It's a lovely ball to Sasaki. Backing up Handa. Eric. First touch was poor though, and invited the challenge from Nakatani, who cleared it away. Yamakawa. There's Tula. Four games without losing here against Gamba since a 2-0 loss in July of 2020. To draw here last season. Here's Sasaki. Difficult to see where a goal was coming from, in truth, in the first half, but it is Vissel Kobe who've got the breakthrough early at the start of the second half. Gamba will have to respond. Sasaki. Again, the first touch just letting him down and allowed Riku Handa to make the challenge. It's good defending, but his poor initial touch is what caused him the problem. Juan Alano. Uzumi. Switched out by Kurita. Kurokawa. On by Mitsuta this time. Uzumi on the edge of the penalty area. The ball didn't arrive though. Mitsuta. Now Kurokawa. He's done well. He pulls it back. And it's hit off the post. Gamba Osaka responds. And they have themselves an equaliser from Shu Kurita. The experienced campaigner coming on and playing his part. And Vissel Kobe's lead disappears after just under 6 minutes. Well, Sakai initially not dealing with Kurokawa. And a big deflection on that as well off Agihara to take it in. Sakai will be disappointed though with allowing Kurokawa to get away. And that's one of those, could have gone anywhere. And it flew straight past Daya Maikawa and into the corner. And a quick exchange of goals. It's Vissel Kobe 1, Gamba Osaka 1. That's pretty much only their second attempt at goal, Gamba Osaka, and Shu Kurita coming off the bench and doing exactly what his boss would have wanted him to. Handa. Sasaki. Honda. Remember, a win for Vissel Kobe takes them a point above Gamba in the table. Cross to the far post, Sasaki! Oh, it should have been 2-1. And suddenly there's chances left, right and centre. Sakai's throw, and then what about this for a delivery? On to the head of Sasaki. And only he will know how he's headed that over the top. Corner for the champions. Deguchi will take it. Well, 2 goals this season for Sasaki, and that really should have been a third. Deguchi, low delivery this time, Hummit clears. With the throw, the flick on from Tula, and it's 2-1. Well, Miyashiro with the initial flick, Eric helped it across the line. Need to see a replay to see who's actually scored that. Was it already over, or is it Eric's goal? But it is Vissel Kobe 2, Gamba Osaka 1. The long throw in from Honda, the flick on from Tula. Well, Miyashiro with the initial touch, but is it in by the time Eric gets there? It's a lovely flick on. It's really hard to tell, isn't it? I think Eric just gets the touch on the line, doesn't he? 3 minutes after conceding the equaliser, they're back in front again. Tula's asking the question, did anybody touch it? Or did his header go straight in? Any one of 3 could have scored that for Vissel Kobe. And it has been credited to Eric. Frustratingly scrappy goal to concede, though, from a Gamba Osaka point of view. Well, 45 minutes of barely any action at all, and 3 goals inside 14 minutes at the start of the second half. Makawa's header on. 2-2 here last season. There seemed no way at half-time that we could potentially have a repeat of that scoreline, but there is a chance now. Fukuoka. Vissel Kobe would move into 7th place provisionally, ahead of all the other weekend matches still to come, but they do desperately need a victory here. Sasaki, he'll be mightily relieved, having passed up a glorious chance to restore the lead to Vissel Kobe. Osaka. He'd spotted the run of Sasaki, but it was cut out by Kurita. Kurokawa. Juan Alano. Another game again in which he's been pretty much on the periphery of it. Kurakawa. Uzumi. Launched out by Maikawa. Here's Sasaki. Honda. All the way back to Chimeri. Won the ball back well. Here's Osaka. Here's Mitsuta. Now Kurakawa. Fukuoka, Nakatani. Honda with the foot in. And his throw. Hamid with the header on. It's a corner if it goes. Gathered by Maikawa. Pretty much ploughed the lone furrow up there, hasn't he, Dennis Hamid? Really hasn't had much service at all. Sakai. Yamakawa to Maikawa. Deguchi. Ogihara. See what he was trying to do. Miyashiro had made the run from midfield. Just overhead again by Ogihara. It's been that kind of afternoon for him. So Kobe preparing another change. Jean-Patrick about to come on, who's a former Cerezo Osaka player. Shove in the back there by Handa. One Brazilian for another. Jean-Patrick on for Eric, who has been credited with this second goal. Does anybody touch it? He thinks he did. Tula thinks it's his, but it's Eric's at the moment. And Jean-Patrick is on. And the afternoon over for Dennis Hamid. Difficult game for the Turkish striker. Replaced by Harumi Minamino. On for his 9th appearance, Minamino. Just 21 years of age. Came through the ranks at Gamba, has had a couple of seasons out on loan in the lower divisions. Kurita. Nakatani. Juan trying to force his way through. Jean-Patrick just ran into Handa. Yamashita's touch to Kurokawa. Here's Mitsuta. Gamba now have to gamble, try and take some chances to get themselves back into it again, but all the while leaving themselves open to that ball over the top that Vissel Kobe employ. Juan Honda towards Jean-Patrick. One back though by Mitsuta. Clips it into the box and well gathered by Maikawa. Minutes to go. Champions in front by 2-1. Gamba Osaka heading for a second straight loss after losing at Sanfrecce Hiroshima last weekend. Back in League Cup action in midweek, Gamba Osaka when they played Jubilo Iwata. Osaka crossing towards Miyashiro. Sakai. It's the Vissel Kobe supporters making all the noise at the moment. Minutes to hold on for what would be just their 7th win of the season, the defending champions. Here's Uzumi. Juan Alano. Too much on that for Osaka. Danny Puertas will be so frustrated at his side having pulled an equaliser back within minutes of falling behind to then concede again so quickly. Juan Alano. So they survived that Sasaki chance that really should have been 2-1 just seconds before they did concede. Here's Yamashita. He favours now. It really worked switching Yamashita and Juan Alano around in the first half. There is the Brazilian, now Kurokawa. Juan Alano. Mitsuta. Handa to Yamashita. Patrick holds him up. Into the box now for Gamba. Helped on by Juan Alano to Kurokawa. It's 2-2. Fabulous finish from the left back. And Gamba are level for the second time. A good spell of possession, capped in the end by a wonderful finish from Keisuke Kurokawa. And with 17 minutes to go, it is Vissel Kobe 2, Gamba Osaka 2. Question is, was there a touch on that from Shinsuke Nakatane, the centre-back who was forwards? Well, like the Vissel Kobe goal, it's hard to tell. Was there a touch on it from Nakatane? Is it his header, or is it Kurokawa's goal? Well, Kurokawa celebrated it. It is going to go down as his goal. It's not sure Nakatane got a significant touch, and more frustration for Vissel Kobe. Oh, but they are checking a possible offside here. Well, is that in the build-up, or is that against Nakatane as he tries to get his head to the ball? So those Gamba celebrations could be cut short. Wait for Danny Poyatos. There's Gamba players. And let's see. He is off, isn't he, by the looks of that? Does he touch the ball? I mean, the argument there, of course, is that he is interfering because he actually tries to head it in. Kurokawa's not going to be happy with it, is he? That's for certain. Because it was a lovely finish from the left back. He's going across to take a look, I think. The argument is always, does he actually make contact with the ball? But at the same time, even if he doesn't, he is interfering, isn't he? And he's clearly offside. But does he touch it? It's almost impossible to tell, because the ball's curling anyway, so it doesn't obviously change direction. Well, the goal's given. It is 2-2. It is Kurokawa's goal. And we are level again. On by Sasaki. Osaka with the touch back. That's a foul by Osaka. Just trying to pinch the ball away from Mitsuta. Well, twice the champions have led, twice Gamba have come back at them. We were here last season in the league, locked together at 2-2. We've got pretty good odds on 4 goals in the second half, given the opening 45 minutes. Sakai's header. It's Kurokawa. Yamakawa. Yamashita's throw. Can Gamba go on and actually get themselves in front in the game? It's been rather a reactive performance, hasn't it, rather than a proactive one. Here's Yamakawa. From what we've seen in the early part of this season from Vissel Kobe, it does look as though their reign could be coming to an end after 2 years as champions of Japan. Never write them off. Didn't make the best of starts last season and came back in the end to even better their 2023 campaign. Kurokawa's throw. Yamakawa to Tula. John Patrick showing his pace here. And they're sticking to the task though. Sakai. It's blocked by Juan Elano. Tula. Deguchi. It's been the standout of the midfield three for Vissel Kobe this afternoon. Here's Tula. Patrick now. Yamashita across though. Good ball by Jean Patrick to Miyashiro. Yamashita immediately charged down. Here's Honda. There's a couple of challenges. Picks out Osaka. Sasaki ahead of him. Osaka goes for goal though, and it's an easy save for Yunichimori. Plenty of changes left for both coaches. Takayuki Yoshida assessing his next move. Tula. Yamashita. Tula fouls him, and it's a mouth time for him. He's on a yellow card, remember. change for Gamba. Juan Alano off to be replaced by Welton. And Yamashita replaced by Takeru Kishimoto. Not one of his better performances today, Yamashita. So Gamba with the free kick. Miyashiro making his way off here. So an enforced change in the midfields. Harry Ida, the replacement. Fifth appearance of the season for Ida. In his second season with Vissel Kobe after joining from Tokyo Verdy. Former Gamba player as well. Played just 9 times for them though. Cross into the back post and Fukuoka was there. Difficult though to try and keep it on target. Five minutes to go, but there will be plenty added on. There was that VAR check for the second Gamba equaliser. Yumakawa's header away. Welton trying to shield the ball. It's a Vissel ball though. Good one for Tula to deal with here. Minamoto did well. Welton. First appearance this season for the Brazilian Welton, who featured 32 times, scored 4 goals in his debut season last season after joining from Levski Sofia in Bulgaria. Welton. Forward to Osaka. Gihara. Osaka is furious here because the referee, I think, has blown for a Vissel Kobe free kick when Sasaki was potentially away. He's been guilty of that a couple of times. There was one for Gamba in the first half as well. Bright smile there from Nakatani. He was relieved the referee gave the decision. Jean-Patrick tried to get him behind. Stretch of the leg from Handa. Edeguchi to play it in. His home supporters baying for a third lead that could well prove to be the winner. Twice they've led, twice Gamba have come back at them. In by Edeguchi. Honda. Clipped in by Honda again. The header on. Jean-Patrick went for the spectacular overhead. Challenging for the ball again. Up and under by Honda. Katani throwing himself into every challenge. Here's Sakai. That's got to be a foul. Taken down by Welton. And a free kick for Vissel Kobe in a very useful position. Poor challenge, he's nowhere near the ball. Gihara over the free kick. Six in there for Vissel Kobe. Edeguchi on the edge of the penalty area. Sasaki's header, tipped away by Chimeri. Well, he got that one on target. Good ball from Agihara. That's a good save from Chimeri. It's a more difficult chance, that one, for Sasaki than the one that he headed over earlier in the second half. Punched away by Chimeri. Sakai. 7 minutes to be added on. Still plenty of time for either team to grab the winning goal. Osaka. Tula's still forward. The goalkeeper's lost it. And then he caught Sasaki. It's opened up here for the shot for Agihara. And Gamba scramble it away. Just wonder if there was a foul in there. Scrappy piece of defending again from Gamba Osaka. They seem at the moment to have got away with it. Good header by Osaka. Goalkeeper loses it here. And then just wondered if he collided into Sasaki there after the ball had gone. Jean-Patrick left his mark as well on Fukuoka in there. There's a bit of afters involving Nakatani here. Gamba look as though they're preparing their final change. Tula's after this. Karakawa getting himself in the way. It's a Vissel Kobe throw, though. Now the team pushing for the winning goal. Gamba want to make another change. Takashi Uzumi coming off. Uze Agawa. The final change. Agawa's 5th appearance. Sakai's throw. away by Mitsuta. Danger not over yet though, and hit first time and claimed by Chimari from Ideguchi. Mitsuta after this. Osaka was third season at Gamba Osaka. It was just his 17th appearance. Here's a defensive move from the away side. Ball clipped in towards Osaka from Ida. Acknowledges the vision of the substitute. It was just too far ahead of the centre forward. Hander clears. Yamakawa's header. Mitsuta. Touch off from Welton. Kurokawa. Chested back to the goalkeeper by Yuki Hander. Vissel Kobe can go again with 3 minutes to go. Sakai's throw. Sasaki felt he was being fouled, but it's a throw to Gamba. Sliding challenge from Agihara. Enough for the ball. That was surely handball. Indeed it was. From Shukurata. Vissel Kobe throw. As Takashi Uzumi watches on now from the sidelines. Having done his bit, difficult game for him. Difficult game really for all the Gamba forwards, and yet they've managed to eke out a couple of goals. Sakai's throw. John Patrick is after this one. Fukuoka heads it away. Here's Sasaki. Lifts it in. Oh, it's in from Osaka! And Vissel Kobe are back in front. 5.5 minutes into stoppage time. And it is Vissel Kobe 3, Gamba Osaka 2. And surely now there's not enough time for Gamba to get themselves back into this. Well, no goals in the league since the second day of the season. 10 games without a goal. And Yuya Osaka is well and truly back on the scoring trail, having doubled his tally for the season in this second half. It's a lovely header. And Chimari unable to keep it out. Vissel Kobe 3, Gamba Osaka 2. And surely now the champions are on course for a win off the back of 2 straight losses. Well, the difference between the first and second halves of this game, night and day. Barely a chance worthy of the name in the opening 45 minutes. Now we've had 5 goals in the second half. Gamba twice getting level after falling behind. Yuya Osaka back amongst the goals, which is exactly what Vissel Kobe need, a side who have struggled for goals this season. Missing Yoshinori Muto at the moment as well, which hasn't helped them. Well, there'll be no hat-trick for Osaka. He's being withdrawn. Nanase Ino replaces him. Celebrated his 100th top flight appearance at the start of the game. Well, this is his 101st now. He's not going to get too long. There's Gamba getting behind. That's a good save to deny Agawa. Suddenly fell asleep at the back, Vissel Kobe there. And now they have a corner to deal with. Makoto Mitsuta with it. Curls it in. Vissel Kobe get it away. Ino does get a touch and puts it out for a throw. Honda. We move into the 100th minute of the game now. Ichimori. With Yokohama F. Marinos to come on Wednesday. Shimizu S-Pulse next weekend. Vissel Kobe were desperate to return to winning ways and try and force their way back into the title race. They have beaten Gamba Osaka here by 3-2. It is a victory that takes them above today's opponents by just a point, but they have played 2 games less. And as it stands, 13 behind the league leaders, Kashima Antlers, but with those 2 games in hand, which could potentially pull them to within 7. A forgettable first half, but a very memorable second half indeed. Osaka and Eric twice had Vissel Kobe in front before Kurata and Kurokawa levelled twice for Gamba Osaka. And then 6 minutes into added on time, Osaka scoring his 2nd of the game, his 4th of the season. And those 4 goals have come in just 2 matches, having scored a double against Nagoya Grampus on week 2 of the campaign. It's finished here, Vissel Kobe 3, Gamba Osaka 2. So the celebrations belong to the champions, who seem to be getting their season up and running with 4 straight wins prior to the 2 losses to Cerezo Osaka and FC Tokyo. But it is a 7th win of the season for Vissel Kobe. You have very little margin for error if they are to seriously get back and challenge for the not only the title but the Asian Champions League places as well. But this will be a much-needed boost. Not only the victory, but the manner of the victory as well, grabbing it right at the end, and the fact that Yuya Osaka, their reliable source of goals over the last couple of seasons, is back up and running with his first goals in 10 games. And I'm sure we're going to hear from him very shortly. Disappointing afternoon, though, for those Gamba fans who had won 3 in a row, but after last week's loss to Sanfrecce Hiroshima, they are beaten again and slip below Vissel Kobe in the J1 table. Tough defeat to take, having come so late, but it is their 8th loss of the campaign now. But is this the charge for Vissel Kobe? Let's hear from Osaka.
それでは勝ちましたヴィッセル神戸2ゴールの活躍です。大迫選手に来ていただきました。おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
まずはゴールシーン振り返ってください。50分先制点です。いかがだったでしょうか。
いやもうゴートから素晴らしいボール来ましたし、エリキも素晴らしい、スルーしてくれたので、気持ちで押し込みました。
さあそして決勝点となりましたアディショナルタイムのあのゴール振り返ってください。
うまくも本当に気持ちで、ねじ込みました。